The Libertarian State Leadership Alliance presents our 2017 National Conference, The Future of the Libertarian Political Movement, the dinner keynote speech with Libertarian activist Larry Sharpe.
I hope you've all enjoyed dinner, and now the main event, the part of the meal we've really been waiting for. I'm very excited to introduce somebody that I've heard a lot about, but finally got to meet and speak to today. Like most of us here, someone who's active in the party, who's a regional rep on the Libertarian National Committee, and a former vice presidential candidate in 2016. But what's very special to me about the man who's about to speak to you is, like nearly every one of the important anti-war activists I've ever met in my life, he's a Marine. I say this because the best activists that we have against the war, including people like the late Lee Wrights, were veterans. We've got a lot of veterans in the party. There's a reason for that. People who've seen the system close up, people who understand these problems, they know what they're talking about. So when veterans tell you that war is not a great idea, perhaps we should listen to them. Larry Sharpe is the managing director of NeoSage, which is a communications consulting firm, and he's somebody who's really going to, I think, somebody who can take the Libertarian Party into the 21st century. I'm very excited about that. So, ladies and gentlemen, Larry Sharpe.
Everybody, can you all hear me?
What?
That means yes. I love that. Thank you. I get that every time. Yes, very good. I want to ask you a question. Does anybody happen to know what the IA at the end of place names stands for? What does it mean? Like Georgia, IA at the end? Anyone know what that means? Virginia, IA at the end? Anybody know? It means land of. Virginia, land of the Virgin Queen. Georgia, land of King George. Pennsylvania, land of Penn's Forest. Russia, land of the Rus. Serbia, land of the Serbs. And then you see IA, you will know it's land of. Isn't that awesome? You learn something every day, yes. And often in the Muslim world, you often find Stan. Like Pakistan, land of Pakis, Afghanistan, land of the Afghans. So you'll find Stan or IA. Isn't that great? So why did I tell you that? It was cool. That's all. That's because it was cool. Something interesting. That's all. Just nice. You'll be better at Jeopardy now. See? You'll be good. All right. The reason why I wanted to go up here and talk to you was about something very important, and that is what anyone who wants to be a leader has to be able to do. That is project a vision. Have a plan for the future. And many of you know I have a plan. It's a 7-year plan. The 7-year plan to get us to actually control government and make actual impact and maybe even take the presidency. Now, the first part's already happening. Right now, many of you know, I've been to about 7 conventions already. And I've got 2 more, I think, scheduled, plus even coming here. So I'm doing a lot all around the world, all around the country. I've been to a lot of places. There are 3 things I see everywhere I go. Number 1, we are already winning at the local level. City council type level, we're already winning all around the country. It's already happening. The local, mostly of these are nonpartisan races, but many of them we are already winning. That's awesome. Number 2, I hear this every time. Oh my God, Larry, this is the largest event we've had, and it's an off year. Every single place I go, it's huge, bigger, bigger, bigger. And the last thing I'm seeing everywhere I go is the youth is showing up. The youth is showing up. They are here, yes, absolutely. I was in Florida and someone came to me and said, "Hi, Larry, I'm the chair of so-and-so group." And I was like, "You're like 18, how's that possible?" I think he was like 22 or something, I don't remember, but he was still. I mean, the idea is that now the youth is here and in action. These 3 things tell me that the growth has already begun. Some people will say, well, 2016 wasn't our best year, it wasn't great, it could have been better. Well, it could have been better, but it was still amazing. And it's now our job to take 2016 and advance even further. Our job to make those next steps. So in the coming years, 2017 and 2018, I know we'll talk about 2020. Who's 2020? Who's 2020? Forget 2020 for now. Let's focus on 2017, 2018 now. And that is a bunch of people winning and running at the local level. Local, local, local. No more waiting for saviors. No more hoping a savior comes to save us. You know who the saviors are? Us. We are. We are the saviors in this room. People we know, people we're talking to back in our states. We are the saviors. We have to start to build this infrastructure out. So 2017, 2018, we've got to run. And you might say, but Larry, Why is running so important? Here's the reason why. When you run, you are encouraging others to help. Now here's a problem. People don't want to run. Why? Because in the past, a run meant, I must do everything myself. That's what it meant. I must do everything myself. And what I'm going to tell you is, if you're going to run, or someone you know is running, and they decide, I'll just take care of it, I'm not going to tell anybody, if it's you, and you're running, and you won't ask people for help, you are being selfish. I'll say that one more time. If you are running for office, and you are not asking for help, you are being selfish. There are definitely hundreds of people who want to help you run your campaign, who want to help the liberty movement, who want to help you. They don't know how. They don't know where. They don't know what. So run. You give them the reason to help. Why does that matter? Because the more of them that help you, the more they learn. The more they get how a campaign is run. The more they figure out what are the right people to talk to in the press. What's the right way to raise money? What area should I knock on doors? What area should I make phone calls? Who are the people at the newspaper who will listen to me, who won't? They begin to know all these things, get better and better at it, and they can support more and more candidates. Some of the candidates will realize they should be candidates, they should be supporting. Some of the supporting people realize they should be candidates, not supporting. And as we get more and more people doing this, we're building our infrastructure. Our infrastructure is us. It is us knowing how to run a campaign, knowing what the right answers are, knowing how to get into the press, knowing how to help people out who want to run. Now some of us are saying, but Larry, there are good people who could run, but I can't get them to run. I can't get her to run. She's a successful CPA. You know, she's got a business. She's not going to do this. Come on, she's making $2 million a year. She's got 3 or 4 employees. I can't get her to run. There's no way I can do that.
A lot of life changes recently.
That happened very recently, yes. I can't get her to run. She'll never run. But here's the answer. If we have infrastructure, here's what we do. I'm the state chair or the local county chair. I get 6 people to be on her team within a week. Guess what? She runs. That's how I get those awesome candidates I need, by giving them the support structure that they need to move forward. Not by saying, please do something, can I keep begging you, please, can I? That's not the answer. The answer is, here are 6 people who can't wait for you to run. One's going to run your PR, one's going to run your finance, one's going to run your fundraising, etc., etc., etc. Your job as a candidate is to show up and communicate. Can you do that? Yes, I can. I've got a great candidate. That's what we must do in the next 2 years. Again and again and again. If you want to run, please run. If you don't, please support. Do what you can to get people to run and support and build these teams out. Because what I want from every state is for us to run 20, 30, 40, 100 candidates. How can we do that if we don't have support structure? We can't. Next 2 years we work on this so that we can actually, when 2020 comes, we can actually win at the state level. Victory at the state level. Not people who turned, I like that, but people who won as libertarians. Tons of them. Here's the goal. We did this well in 2017 and 2018. By the time 2019 comes around, we have infrastructure, we have the right people in place. 2020 comes. Now when 2020 comes, we have to get a good presidential candidate. Now what does that mean, good? It does not mean someone who's going to win, to be forward. And that sounds crazy, but that's not the critical aspect, because the odds of him winning or her winning are slim. It's true. It is someone who takes care of something very important, and that is realizing this. The top of our ticket always gets the most press, but it has the least chance of victory. The bottom of our ticket gets the least press, but has the best chance of victory. Top of our ticket in 2018 has to practice something, and that is pumping down ticket. 2018 is the practice year to pump down ticket. If you're running for governor in your state and you do an event, every event you do, the local people running are with you. We did a poor job of that last year. We do a better job of that this year. We must learn from our error last year and do the right thing in 2018. If you're running for governor, yes, thank you. If you're running for governor in 2018 and you're going to be in someone's town, that person running in that county, that person running in that town needs to be with you at your event so that they can absorb the press that you're getting, but not just that. Some of you saw me when I was doing some press last year. If you remember, what did I do often? I said things like, it's not just about me, it's about Libertarian Williams in Colorado, it's about Alex Merced in New York, And I was mentioning, it's about Joe Miller. Joe Miller was in Alaska, right? Mark Miller in Texas. About Joe Miller in Alaska. Mark Miller, Dan Reel in Connecticut. I remember the name still. Right? I remember the name still because I was pumping down ticket. And I wasn't even running. I was pumping down ticket. Every gubernatorial candidate in 2018 must pump down ticket, so that down ticket can win. By 2020, I want people who are winning. I want us to have 2 to 3 to 4 seats in state assemblies or state senates. Why? Why is that so critically important? If we get 2 or 3, every liberty-minded person in that local state will switch parties and join us. They'll join us, why? Because they'll have a voting block and they will control the state's Senate. They'll control the state assembly. We can control a state assembly or a state senate. But not just that. In the next 3 to 4 years, what have we done? We've built a culture and an infrastructure and grown so that when they come over, they don't take over our party. Thank you. One of my biggest fears about growth is if we grow too fast and the people come over, if more Democrats come over, we become Democrat-like. If more Republicans come over, we become Republican-like. I want us to maintain our party integrity, which means we must grow locally. If we grow locally in 2020, when they come to join us, they don't take our party over. They join us. That's what I want. They join us. Now in 2020, 2022 comes. We have people who have actually served at the state level, run at the state level, and are actually governing, and are actually controlling different states here or there, making sure the right bills get passed and the wrong bills don't get passed. Making sure they're shooting down things, letting bills die. They're doing all the right stuff. And what is the country seeing? Wait a minute. When libertarians are in charge, the world doesn't end. I'm serious. A lot of people believe that, right? A lot of people believe that to be true. If libertarians are in charge, oh my God, there's fighting in the streets and where machine guns are shooting people fighting for gas. It's The Walking Dead. They all think that, right? But all of a sudden it's not that. So now 22 comes around. And we've got people who are actually governing and doing well. And we begin to push for the federal level. Does it make sense? And even more at the state level. Now 2024 comes. And when 2024 comes, the reverse happens. All the people now at the down ticket are now experienced, have now governed. They're now getting pressed because they're in office. They now pump the up ticket. We now swap it. 2022, 2024, depending on how good we do, we swap it. And now we went to the federal level. All we need, I'm not joking, is 2 senators. 2 senators in 2024. Just 2. We get 2 senators at the federal level in 2024. Again, our presidential ticket is pumping down ticket. Again, is pumping senators. Is pumping the federal now, right? Now our presidential ticket is pumping the federal level. Pumping up people running for Senate, pumping up people running for Congress. Just 2 senators. We'll get at least 3 more who will turn just like at the state level. And now we run the Senate. 2024, we run the Senate. Why? We're an actual voting bloc. We're an actual voting bloc. The Dems come, Republicans come. We can control those bills. We can make sure some get passed, don't get passed. We can pull the pork out. We can make sure no Patriot Act anymore. We can kill those things. We can actually have a voting bloc and actually govern at that level. We do that in 7 years. We can actually govern in 7 years. At the federal level, 2028, we've got a shot at the presidency. We've got a real shot at the presidency. 7-year plan to get there to run the government. It's just about a 3 to 4 year, 6-year plan to run a state. 7-year plan to run the country. 11-year plan to have the presidency. We could have all of that, which means what else do we get when we get the presidency? We get the courts. Libertarian judges. Imagine. Libertarian judges. Imagine. We could do this. Yes, we could do this. Now let me go one step further here. That's my thing, one step further, right? Let me go one step further here. Now, as the presidential candidates, we have to have a goal in 2020. The goal in 2020 is not just to pump down ticket. That is, but there's something else. Something we missed last time. We have to get an electoral vote. 2020, we must turn one state yellow. No matter what we do, we must turn one state yellow. I'll take New Hampshire. We must turn a state yellow. So, when 2020 comes, and I actually brought this up before, and I'll do it again if need be, the vice presidential candidate, the last 2 months of the actual campaign, physically moves to that state, whichever one we can win, and campaigns in that state alone for 2 straight months. Every diner, every school board, everything, until we turn that state yellow. That's what we do. I want one state at least yellow in 2020. Imagine that. One state in 2020. 2024, we'd at least 1 or 2 states and have some at the federal level. 2028, we win the presidency.
Larry, go for 2. You can move to New Hampshire and capture Maine at the same time.
I love that. We'll take New Hampshire and Maine. I'll take it. We'll go back and forth. I love it. There we go. Exactly right. Doesn't matter. My point is we have to have a yellow state. We have a yellow state. Now we have it. Now you might say, Larry, that sounds like a great idea. Does anybody think that's a great idea?
Yeah.
I love it. So how do we do it? First thing is, we have to have hundreds and hundreds of conversations. I'm asking every one of you to literally have hundreds and hundreds of conversations. No, I didn't say arguments. Yes. I didn't say arguments.
I was warming up my jaw.
I didn't say debates. It's not what I said. I said conversations. We've got to talk and talk and talk to people who are libertarians, people who are not libertarians. We've got to have conversations so they turn. Remember, the more conversations we have, the more chance people will agree with us and come aboard. I do not want people to come to us just because we're easy. Don't want that. Not just that. In this whole conversation, no, I haven't said, why don't we get Rand Paul or Gavin to come over? I didn't say that. To be forward, I don't want them coming over now. I don't want them. Now, some of you may be upset, but they're great, but we love them, but they're liberty-minded. Yes, but they will take over our party. I don't want that. If they come now, we all fall under them. I don't want that. I want us to already have a party, already have culture, already have infrastructure, so that we're not begging them to come over. They can't wait to come over because look at what we have. And when they come, they don't take us over, they join us. So note in my plan, no one joins us until 7 years from now. No one joins us until then. That's when they come over. And 7 years from now, 2024, they want to come over, come on over. We will be a powerhouse by then. We will be able to absorb them without having to worry about being taken over. I'm totally fine with that. I hope they all come. That'd be amazing then. But only then. Does it make sense? If we have more conversations, we grow our party. But there's a second part to this. When we fight, and we do fight, the first thing we get is, see, that guy, that gal isn't. That guy, that gal isn't. And what I want you to think of is instead, maybe that person might just be wrong. And that may seem crazy, but I don't want you to think the person is bad or evil. I want you to think, maybe they're just wrong. I'm serious. Because there's a difference between thinking someone is wrong and thinking someone's the devil.
It's not malicious.
That's correct. People can be wrong. I'll go one step further. Maybe they just made a mistake. Why don't we start with that? Now, sometimes people are being malicious. It does happen. There are some mean people who are saying mean things. Absolutely, it does happen. What I'm asking us, as we make these changes, we're going to make changes, I talked about it earlier, there are going to be growing pains. That's going to happen again. The LNC's going to make mistakes, I'm going to make mistakes, we're all going to make mistakes, we're going to say things we shouldn't say. I put myself out here, right? And I'm talking to you and I'm being taped, right? So someone's going to say, Larry, you said something stupid. Sometimes they're going to be right, I'm going to say something stupid. It's going to be right, they're right. But I hope that when I say something stupid, you don't go, that's it, Larry? Oh no, I knew that guy was bad. I hope you instead say, wow, Larry said something stupid, I wonder if you apologize. I would rather you think that first. And I hope that I will do the same for you. I hope you will all do the same for each other. Assume the best. Take the high ground within the party first. And that's not easy for us. I know it isn't. I know what I'm asking is a lot. But I'm asking you all to, when you see someone in our party make an error, do something wrong, make a mistake, say something bad, the first step, take the high ground. Assume it's not bad. Assume it was either an error or not malicious. Make that step first. After making that step, then have a conversation. Because remember, if we're going to be out here doing this, gambling, having conversations, We're going to say things we regret. We're going to say bad things that make people angry. That's going to happen. And if it happens, it happens. Let's try to fix it, move on. And some of you also know my 80-20 rule, right? Men know my 80-20 rule?
Yep.
Someone tell me my 80-20 rule. Who knows it?
You agree with 80% of what the party has to say. Don't let that 20% drive you away.
Absolutely. If I agree with someone 80% of the time, I'll support them 100%. If I agree 80%, I'll support them 100%. Because here's the next thing to realize. No one is going to agree with you 100% and everything. Period. No one is. Not going to happen. Ever. No one, not even yourself. You didn't change your own stuff. Even not even yourself. No one's going to be 100% ever. Yes, I say 80-20 because 80-20 is a common amount used in business and in politics. That's why I say 80-20. 80-20 rule. If that works for you, support them 100%. They're still moving liberty forward. They're still on the same team. We're still on the same side. Let's do the 80-20 rule. It's a powerful rule to use. Let's try to be more lenient with each other, because if we lean with each other, we can be lenient with others who are outside the party. We can bring them in, right? We can bring them in. We are the biggest tent party possible, and we'll make sure we do that. If we do that, I promise you, if we are lenient with each other, if we are lenient with those coming in, if we use the 80-20 rule, if we assume the high ground, if we have those hundreds of conversations, if we get people to run and support them, the 7-year plan will work, and we will change this nation. Thank you. I want to touch one part that's outside of that. As we're talking to each other and to others, there's something that happens often, and that is, you've heard it before, the snowflake rule. Yes, you've said something wrong, someone's mad, and the first thing to do is say, you're a snowflake, right? Okay, let me give you guys a quick, anybody know what a snowflake is?
Yep.
Yes. Let me give you guys something you may not know. We're all snowflakes. Yes, go please.
You want to build a snowman?
Yes, I do, thank you, yes. We are all snowflakes. Yes, and let's build a snowman with all the snowflakes that we are. All that matters is, look, we all have buttons. If we press the right button, you're a snowflake. I'm a snowflake. We're all snowflakes. If someone presses your button, you're a snowflake. Don't think you're special, because you're not. I'm not, neither are you. We're all snowflakes. Please keep that in mind. The idea of being humble is a good idea. We should realize that we are all that way. We are all guilty of saying bad things. We are all guilty of being offended. All of us are. We're all snowflakes. If we keep that peace in mind, then we can move forward. I want to take some questions, if any questions or comments. Comments too. Questions or comments from the audience. Anybody? Question or comment? Go ahead, please.
So I don't know if you mentioned this specifically about a U.S. House race. Can we all agree here that it kind of makes sense, instead of diluting all of our money and resources and time, to maybe find the best candidate and or the weakest Republican and Democrat candidate for Congress, and maybe support one so we can win one first?
So you're saying, do we want to focus on one versus a bunch?
Yeah.
My opinion, no. And the reason is, I want us to build infrastructure right now. While I'd love to win a House seat, I think the odds are so slim of that. I would rather we focus on 3 different people running to build the infrastructure. Because if just you run, then I've only got 4 or 5 people who are in a circle helping you. But if 3 of you are running, I hope I have 5, 5, and 5. And I have 15 people learning how to run a campaign and being managers in that level. So that next 2-year cycle, we have more people who know what they're doing. So unless you honestly think you can win, there's an exception. If I'm wrong and you think you can actually win, go ahead. But I know in most cases the odds are slim. And for us to fight to get 10%, I'd rather get 3% from 3 people than 10% from 1 and build the infrastructure. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. Go ahead.
Can I suggest that we just focus all our efforts on college towns? That's where our candidates are already getting sometimes upwards of 20% of the vote in college towns. That's where I got my highest vote totals, were in college towns and college boards. And we had 9,000 people coming in Durham outside of UNH. 9,000 people voted in one day. If we could have had just a handful of libertarians standing there holding libertarian signs, every September, every November, every March election, you have thousands of people walking by saying, hey, they're organized here, they're organized, they're doing something. And you'll have young people coming up to you asking you, what's a libertarian about? What are you guys about? I mean, that's exactly.
I love the idea, and that's what I'm talking about building infrastructure. We need to know exactly that. We need 15 people who know that, so that every time someone runs, there's someone in that campaign going, hey, why aren't we doing that? It's exactly what we need. Yes? Go ahead, sir.
It's sort of a comment, but it was raised earlier. I don't want to take any credit for this idea, but rather than having 10 really great candidates in New Hampshire, why not have 400 really bad ones?
Well, how about we have 10 good and 390 bad ones? We don't have to have all bad, do we?
We're not. The
Yes.
the
Let's
worst
have 10 good and 390
libertarian
bad.
is still better than a Democrat or Republican. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, the advantage is, this is what Michael Pickens talks about all the time. The advantage is, even if you have a bad candidate now, they'll be a good candidate, they keep running and keep trying. Or they'll realize, I'm not a good candidate, I should be supporting.
Right.
And if they move to support level, they've had experience being a candidate and they'll know how to support someone even better. So I'm actually okay with people being mediocre candidates, because either they'll say, you know what, I've learned, I can be a better candidate next time, or they're going to say, you know what, I should be a candidate, but I can support her, you know, and I know what it's about. I agree with you, yes, but let's do 10 and 390.
So I know you know Trent Summers.
I do.
Who is the national chairman of the Libertarian Youth Caucus. And one of the things we are focused on is organizing college campuses across the United States.
I love that.
With Libertarian Youth Caucuses or affiliates. And it's because we know that, yes, young people turn out. Like in Mark Wiggs' campaign in Missoula County, at, I think it's Bozeman University or wherever it is, he got something 20%, right? What was it?
21% of the vote, amazing. Amazing, yes.
Everyone under 30, 21% of the vote on a budget of what, $12,000?
$12,000.
Yes.
$12 million for the other guys.
Now, everyone who's part of that now is able to share that information so we can do it again in 2019.
Yep.
Well, in this case, 2018, when are they doing it in?
We're gonna have it.
2018, yeah, there we go, 2018, year and a half, exactly.
NYC will have it.
I love it, great, go ahead, please.
Yeah, so ballot status is very important, and Max, I really support what you said. But I think we still need to have a congressional candidate, especially in New Hampshire, because of the war and the foreign policy and the libertarian.
Yeah, and let's be clear, I'm not saying don't, look, because I said I'm more focused on local, I want to reiterate, make sure. I still want us to have presidential candidate, gubernatorial candidate, senate. I want all of them because they get the press. So of course I want a congressional candidate, of course I do. But I'm saying the difference between do I want 1 or 4, I want 4, let one of those be the congressional candidate. Right, someone asked me the other day, they said, Larry, what if, I forgot who asked me this question, what if someone, you know, doesn't want to run local? You know, they want to run only at the higher level, but we think they'd be better local. What should we do? And I said, find someone to run local, let them run at the higher level. The last thing I'm going to do is take someone who's prepared to sacrifice their money, their family, their time to run for office and say you have to run for something you don't want to run for. If someone wants to run for a higher office, ask them if they'll go lower, if you think it's better, if it's a better fit for the party. If they say yes, awesome. If they say no, let them run for the higher office. It's fine, let them go. Find someone to fill the lower space. So as many people as we can get into those slots, the better. I agree completely. We need to have that too. Go ahead.
How does people who just want to run as, you know, a placeholder, a paper, or an outreach candidate fit in your plan?
Yeah, and this, I'm torn on this one because I'm from New York, right? I don't like paper candidates in New York at all. Why? Because we bust our rump to sign, to get signatures in New York. If you've got ballot access where you're not busting your rump to get signatures, I'm not that much against the paper candidate idea. I'd rather them not do it. I'd rather you be an actual candidate. But if you've got people who have to go out there and get 14,000, 12,000, 11,000 signatures, that guy or gal better run. Right? She better run. I better see her out there stumping. If I got all these people out there getting those pieces. That make sense?
Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
So as far as paper candidates, there's no such thing. If someone signs up to run for office, they have to at least be willing to respond to the media. Too many times people will sign up to run for office and say they're a paper candidate, so they ignore their emails, they ignore their phone calls, and it makes us look even worse, and it hurts our reputation.
Yes. Which is why we want to have that team around them anyways. It goes back to the team piece.
There's a piece from the National Party that Andy Burns put together that has the 3 levels of running for office. The first level is putting in 1 to 5 hours a week, right, which is the basic. There's no putting in 0 hours because you still need to be able to respond to the media.
Right.
We have to do that. If we don't, then we look like the assholes who aren't returning phone calls. If you call someone and they don't call you back, how do you think of them?
Yes.
And no wonder they don't want to cover us.
Well, yes, and the other piece you find is, look, if you put a team, say you decide you want to be a paper candidate, right? But the local party puts 4 people on your team. Are you really going to sit home when 4 people are asking you to show up? People are setting stuff up for you to show up. You know, you've got to be some kind of jerk to just sit home when you got 4 people sitting there saying, okay, you can be in a diner talking to 3 people, can you show up? No, you know, whatever, you know, Netflix. You're that guy? Come on, I don't want you to be that guy.
Hey,
So I'm
Stern
hoping you're
did
not
that.
that guy.
Howard Stern did that.
Yeah, but I'm a New Yorker, I don't want to talk about Howard Stern. So yes, go ahead, Wes.
Slightly different topic, but, and by the way, thank you for being here. We love having you. When did you become a libertarian and why did you become a libertarian? I haven't heard the story. Maybe you told us, but.
Okay. Do you guys want to hear the story or no?
Yeah.
Oh, yes? I'm happy. Look, Larry, please, yeah. Yes, of course. Yes, okay, yes. So, the funny thing is, I didn't know I was libertarian for a lot of years. In fact, I was pretty much lost. I was raised in a family in New York City, which means Democrat. So, my politics in my home was very easy. If you had a D by your name, you were golden, and R, you were evil. Done. Politics is simple, right? That's how I was raised. My parents hated Ronald Reagan, hated everyone, hated Nixon, hated everybody Republican, couldn't stand any of them. But when I was 17, I joined the Marine Corps. I joined the Marine Corps in the 80s. My first Commander-in-Chief, Ronald Reagan. The Marine Corps is a very conservative branch of service, those of you who know that, the most conservative. So I became a Republican. So I went from Democrat to Republican almost overnight, within say 30 days, give or take, 60 days maybe. I changed parties basically because I thought these are the right guys. My first presidential vote was for George H.W. Bush. So I became kind of Republican in that regard. But I wasn't happy. And the funny thing about not being happy is I thought that at that time that George H.W. Bush wasn't warmongery enough. I know it sounds crazy, but that's what I thought. I was a Marine. That's what we thought. I thought he was a bad president. He wouldn't have good leadership. I didn't like him. Then I realized he was doing this, you know, still war on drugs that Reagan had started. Me coming from not the best neighborhood. A lot of my friends were getting caught up in that. And people were still getting in prison. It was a bad spot. I thought, you know what? These guys don't matter. It's terrible. And then I heard Bill Clinton speak in '92. And when I heard Bill Clinton speak, I thought, wow, this guy says cool stuff. He's young and he's hip. This guy is going to be different. Yeah, this will work. So I voted for Bill Clinton. I became Democrat again. I went from Democrat to Republican, back Democrat again. And when I went back to Democrat this time, I thought Bill Clinton was going to be awesome, and then he signed it, Don't Ask, Don't Tell, Defense of Marriage, he kept the war on drugs. He was the same as all the rest. He did nothing. He got rid of Glass-Steagall. I mean, he did nothing good at all. At 96 I voted for, was it Perot?
Perot.
Whoever the third party guy was, I was so upset. I don't remember, I think it was Perot. I was so upset. Then 2000 came. I still was upset. Unhappy with both parties. I became neutral. I wasn't Democrat either, nothing. Voted for Nader in 2000. So I thought, Green, well, it's not Republican or Democrat, so therefore it's good. That was my logic. That's all I knew. I was actually considering joining the Green Party. I was considering it because I thought, well, they're not Democrats or Republicans, so they must be good. That's as far as my political intellect went. I know it seems funny, but it's true. That's where my head was. I thought it's not them, so they're good. So I supported Nader in 2000, and again in 2004 also. I was like, yes, he's the guy, all good. After that, I realized he couldn't do anything. Nothing was going to happen. I was disenchanted. Again, I thought, I'm not going to vote anymore. I don't think I voted in 2006, I'm not sure. I might have, might not, I remember. I was disenchanted. But then I heard Barack Obama speak. I thought, wait a minute, this guy looks different, acts different, young. This guy, he's my savior. This time, he's the guy, this'll work. So I voted for Obama. And so Obama becomes Bush Jr., no difference. And on a personal level, Obama never addressed race. And that was not about me personally. Clearly, about me personally, right? Doesn't mean he never addressed, and I wanted him to, and he didn't. So I was very happy with Obama, and I was just done. Again, I was going back to, I'm not voting anymore. I'm done. This isn't going to work. Who cares? Then I heard Gary Johnson speak. Now, Gary Johnson, when I first heard him speak, I thought he was radical. I know. But you see where my head was. You see where my head was, right? That's where my head was. I was like, wow, this guy, whoa, wait a minute. And he brought me to ideas of, you know what, wait a minute. So wait, what you tell me is government isn't the answer to everything? Really? That was new to me, basically. It was a concept I didn't really get. But I wasn't going to be fooled this time. It's going to sound funny. I did not go to vote for Gary Johnson right away. I didn't. I've been burned before so many times, I thought, no. It was the first time I actually went to an actual Libertarian Party meeting. I went to a meeting because I didn't want to be fooled again. It sounds crazy, but it's true. I did not want to be fooled again. So I
There's
asked.
a Bruce song about that, isn't there?
Yes, and I got fooled like 5 times already. So yes, so yeah, I learned what I learned. So this time I actually went and said I went, and then I went to my actual local party. And when I went to my local party, I met regular people. I met regular people who thought like me, who didn't want big government, and then I realized something else. What I was teaching in my personal career, in both sales and leadership, was actually libertarian theory and philosophy. I didn't realize that my leadership was all libertarian philosophy. I realized all about buy-in, volunteerism. It was all about libertarian philosophy. I was already libertarian, didn't even know I was. So all of a sudden when I joined, I said, that's it, I'm in. I joined my local party in Queens, I think, first. I live in Queens, I work in Manhattan. First in 2012. I voted for Gary Johnson in 2012. I met Gary Johnson in 2012 and 2013. Every time he came to New York, I went and saw him, I gave money. Every time he was there, that's how I got to know him. Every time he was in New York, I was there. I never missed any of his events in New York. I brought my daughter. My daughter has pictures of him every year. Yes, every year, yes. I met him every single year. I was always there for him because he got me into the party. So I joined my Queens, then I joined Manhattan. About a year later, I joined the state, and then I joined the LP. And then you guys, because I was giving you money, you guys told me to come down for the buying the building. You bought the building in 2014, I think it was. Is that right? In 2014? Yes. You had me come down because you knew I'd write a check for you, and I did. So it's true, I did. I got that foundation member card. If you donate X amount of dollars, whatever it was.
Your name on the wall.
Yeah, whatever that thing was. I got that card, so I did that, and that's when I met Nick, and I met all the people at the LNC. I met them all. So then I was done. I wasn't active in the party. 2012, 13, 14, I was not active at all. I just wrote checks. I showed up once in a while and wrote checks. I was not active at all. I wasn't doing anything except once in a while showing up, watching people speak. Once in a while with my daughter. I saw Gary Johnson when he came to New York. And that was it. That was all I did. Then 2015, Nick, because we had met in Alexandria, he said, Larry, why don't you come and speak in Colorado to raise money? So I went to Colorado. That's where I met that man right there, Michael Pickens. I met him there in Colorado. And that's when I was the first time I spoke at a Libertarian convention. It was the state convention for Colorado. I raised money there, I spoke there, and that was good. And again, that's what I did. Then 2016 came, and I realized it was going to be Hillary and Trump. And when Hillary and Trump came, and I knew it was them, I thought, I could make some damage here. This is our year. We could do something. So I was thinking, should I run for president or vice president? What should I do? But I realized at the time that all the people running for president had a higher profile than me. Right? Gary Johnson did, Darryl Perry did, McAfee did, right? Austin Peterson did. They all had a higher profile than I had. So I said, why would I run for president? And if I win, I lower the profile. Doesn't make any sense. I'll run for vice president so I can add to the ticket. That was my whole reason why I wanted to run for vice president. So I literally tell you this good story. You guys may enjoy this. I actually met Gary Johnson and I asked him about it. We sat at a diner with my daughter and I asked him. I said, hey, Governor Johnson. I called him Governor. I said, Governor, I want to run for VP. And Gary Johnson, being who he is, he said, Larry, that's great. I don't want you as my VP.
Wow.
No, that's a good thing. You can say whatever you want about Gary Johnson. Get mad at him if you want to. One thing he is, he's honest. What you see is what you get. That man is honest. He will tell you the truth no matter what. And he didn't want it. And I wasn't mad at all. I was not mad. I literally said, okay, got it, no worries. I said, who are you thinking about being your vice president? This is before Bill Weld was in the picture. He actually said, Larry, I'm still thinking about John Gray, Judge Gray.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, Governor, I like him. He's a libertarian. I like him. My worry is, not so exciting. Great guy, love him, libertarian.
He's exciting in the drug policy community, though.
Okay, but where I was in New York, not so exciting. Right? Not so exciting. He said, no, but I think on us, you know what? He's a good man. That's fine. You want him, I'm in. I'll support it. We'll go with Judge Gray, all good. He wasn't sure. I said, do you want me not to run? This is what he said. He said, Larry, no, you should run. You'll raise the bar. That's what Governor Johnson said. That's what he told me, and that's why I ran. That's how I got involved in running, because he said, go ahead and run, you'll raise the bar.
And now, do you tell your story? I've never heard any of this before. It's very interesting. I think you should plan. No one planted that question. I mean, you should get someone to ask you that question next time you go to the next place.
I don't know if it's a good story or not.
I had no idea.
And then I'll go again one step further. Then, after I lost the VP election, you know that, I went to my room and I got a nap because I was exhausted. And then I went and we raised money, right, to move everything forward. And then after that, it was kind of not that exciting afterwards. But about a month or so later, after the convention, I was going to South Carolina on business. So I called up some South Carolina libertarians and said, hey, let's sit down and talk. I'm going to be down there, let's have lunch or breakfast or dinner or something, right? Come on, I'm in the area, let's do something. And then many of them were surprised. They said, yeah, I must have got 4 or 5, maybe, I don't remember, it's last year. 4 or 5 came together, got together like an Applebee's or someplace like that, TGI Fridays, I forgot which one it was. We sat down and we talked. We talked about the election and about, Johnson and all that kind of good stuff. And they looked at me kind of weird. Like, why are you, what? And I finally said, what is it? And one of the guys says, Larry, why are you here? And I said, what do you mean? I'm traveling, here for business. Why can't I stop by and see my brothers and sisters? What's wrong? Let's do this. Right? It wasn't over. Right? We said to keep fighting. Right? Let's do this. He looked at me and said, nobody does this. That's what he said. And at that point I realized someone has to. And that's why I'm going around, doing all this stuff from that day. From that day when someone said nobody does this, I realized we have to have someone to go around do this. Someone's got to be able to go to the places and talk about what's happening, move the party forward. Someone's got to have a vision. Someone's got to be able to do this. Someone's got to do this, and that's why I'm doing it. From him saying, nobody does this. That's when I started doing it. That's my story. So, thank you for asking that question. I'm happy to yap up myself all day. Any other, but go ahead, yes.
I have 2 questions
Please.
about your fighting comments.
Please.
One, have we considered that maybe we're the one that is wrong?
What does that mean?
Your response was, we have to recognize that the other person is just wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we're wrong.
No, valid point. Agreed.
And I think it's
But I think it's true, but for me to say, think you might be wrong, is hard to do. But for me first to say, think they might be wrong and take the high ground, forces you by default to think it might be you.
And then the other one,
Yes.
maybe neither party is wrong.
That's correct too.
Maybe it's just a difference in values or opinions.
I think those are both valid points, 100%. There's no question, which is why I go back to the 80-20 rule. Right, the 80-20 rule is important because sometimes we're just not going to agree. Sometimes we're just not going to agree. And it's something I said, and I'm glad you brought this up. I bring this up often with people who I talk to, people who get mad at me, people who when I say things they don't like, I bring it up often. I brought it up last year when I was running. If you remember during the Orlando convention, any of you who were there, remember at the end, it looked like everybody who wasn't welled, right, rallied behind me. There was one reason behind that. It wasn't because I'm so handsome. I am handsome, but that's not the reason. It was because I put my hand out to everybody. Even my enemies. I put my hand out to everybody. Even people who were mad at me. People who didn't want me fighting well. Or people who didn't want me fighting well at all. And I put my hand out to them too. People who didn't think I was radical enough, I put my hand out to them also. I put my hand out to all of them. And my whole piece was, I was telling them who I was and what I was doing. I told them. Why? I can have you angry at me. I can't have you not trust me. There's a difference. If we're going to be in the same party, I can have you mad at me. Larry, you're wrong. You shouldn't have said that. Larry, you have the wrong idea. Yes, but I can't have you not trust me. If you don't trust me, we can't work together. If you're mad at me, we can. We can fix the anger. We can't fix the broken trust. So I think you're totally right. Someone's going to disagree, but I don't want to backstab you. I want to tell you, I don't agree. I think you're wrong. Let's just deal with that, move on. 80-20 rule, I'm with you. 80-20 rule, I'm with you. But I'd rather not go, I agree with you. No, I don't. She's crazy. Oh my God, no. That's a bad idea. Now you don't trust me. I'd rather just say, we don't agree. Okay? But there are places we do agree. Let's stay on that. We are still a family. We are still a family. And we are going to fight, and we're going to disagree, but in the long run, the family matters. And we've got to move forward. So I agree completely. You're totally right. I'm going to be wrong too. You're going to be wrong. It's okay. And we're going to not be wrong and disagree, 100%. But I have to be open with you and let you know that, so you don't go, I don't trust Larry. Right? And I take that, from people get mad at Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson was open with me. He told me what he wanted. He was open. I didn't like what he said, but I still trust him. I still trust him 100%. Is that okay? Great, good. Someone else have a comment or question? Go ahead.
I love Arvin Bora. He's one of our best activists. I also love Larry Sharpe. He's one of our best activists. Y'all both gonna stay here and help us grow the party?
I thought I already quelled that already, didn't I?
Last weekend.
I think I quelled it already. I quelled it already. Yes, I already quelled it already. I just said we're family. I've already said it more than once. Yes, that's quelled, that is done. As far as I'm concerned, it's done. I hope he thinks it's done, because I think it's done. We shook hands. We're good. It's done. I said things I probably shouldn't have said. I apologize for them. He said things he knows he now shouldn't have said. He apologized for them. We're good. I'm trying to practice what I preach. Right? I'm practicing what I preach. He said sorry. I said I accept. I said sorry. He said he accepts. We're good.
To follow up on that, there are people that sent insulting emails to me in 1998, and I still remember who they were, some of the comments.
So I think you should punish them today. I think that would be the right answer.
Yeah,
Yes.
And I've done some mean things to people, in the year 2000, and they remember it. And the fact is, we're all people. We try to be nice a lot of the times, but we often screw up and make a mistake and offend someone.
We are all snowflakes.
We got to forgive each other. You got to let it go. You don't always have to forget. I have a hard time forgetting everyone who ever did me wrong. There's been so many. I mean, I send out an email on anything, and there's like 30 people telling me to hell. We have to let it go.
I completely agree. Look, how many of you follow me on Facebook? And you follow me on Facebook? Great. I get insulted almost every day. Right? Almost every day. I get insulted almost every day. I get vulgar insults, page-long insults. I get racial slurs. You guys see me do it. I get all kind of horrible stuff on my page all the time. And I don't even ban them. There are people who troll my page, I don't ban them. As long as they're only attacking me, I don't ban them. If they attack anyone else, they get banned. Right? If you only attack me, I don't ban them. I have guys who come on almost every day and say, you're a jerk, whatever, in some way, shape, or form, right? I don't ban them. Because I want to become, as you said, I want to have thicker skin. I get insulted every single day. Someone says something bad to me all the time. I agree. I let it go. And the worst part is, usually, it's libertarians.
Yeah.
Usually it's
But
libertarians.
we have to forgive our own libertarians.
Yes, usually it's libertarians. There's some lefties and righties who hit me up too and beat me up. That happens. And they're often the most vulgar, most angry. They're the most vulgar, most angry usually. But libertarians will just tell me how bad I am with a long diatribe of why I'm so wrong and how bad I am, how evil I am, and what a jerk I am.
And how you're not a libertarian.
And how I'm not a libertarian, and how I'm bad, and I'm lying, and whatever. I get the whole deal. Yeah, the whole thing. Absolutely happens all the time. I agree with you. We have to, and that's my whole point of this conversation. If we're going to grow this each other as a family, look, if you have brothers, sisters, cousins, uncles, things, whatever, you fight. But I hope you come back. And I want us all to come back. And that's the whole point. Thank you for that. Yes. Any other comment or question? Go ahead.
The first interaction, I don't think it was positive. I had a negative impression of you.
No, what did we bring up?
This goes back to, but whenever it came, I seen the work you were doing now, and whenever it came time to recommend people for executive director back in 2009, you were the one person now that I recommended to Bill Redpath. So if you remember any bad thing that I said.
See, he's making up. He's making up. See? Exactly.
That's a politician.
I forgot he insulted me so much, but I'm going to research my email.
Yeah, there you go.
So you can relive the resentment, right?
But there's something else to remember too, guys, and some of you have this happen.
So many libertarians myself. It's like we have to forgive each other. You have to forgive me too. I don't mean y'all. We fight a lot, and we have to say, yes, I was wrong, yes, you were wrong sometimes, but we're still libertarians, we're still better than Republicans and Democrats. We still got some work to do.
Well, there's something else to remember too, though. Here. There's two things to remember. Culture matters here. Culture matters here. What do I mean by that? Our culture. We have a culture of years of losing. It's part of our culture. Years of losing. What do libertarians do really well? What do we win really well? Arguments. Yes, we do. We are really good at that. So we start losing elections, we start winning arguments, right? We're going to show you, and it's always my reason is the right reason, right? You weren't smart enough, you weren't pure enough, you weren't libertarian enough, you weren't this, you wanted open borders, you wanted whatever. Whatever I say is the reason why we didn't win.
You wanted the other candidate to win.
You wanted the other candidate, right, exactly. Whatever it is, right? That's what we do. It's a valid point, but we have to realize something. Look, sometimes culture, while it matters, it takes time to change culture too. We have to come to a culture of victory. Many of us, and this is, it's funny, someone came to me when I was thinking about running for governor and said, Larry, you should run for governor. You know, it's going to cost you $50,000, you know, just to, you know, get ballot access. Then you have no money left. I said, I'm going to raise 7 figures. And he'll be like, I said, yeah, why would I run for governor if I can't raise 7 figures? I have no chance of victory. Why would I do that? To that person, that whole concept was alien. It's like I spoke a different language. We have to realize something. There's another reason why I'm asking to build infrastructure. There's another reason why I want you to build infrastructure. Because eventually, we're going to start winning. And when we start winning, who's going to be your staff? The people who were on your team. The people in the party who've been doing this for years. They're going to be on your staff. What happens when you actually become a senator? What happens when you become an actual assemblyman or a congressman? What happens when you become a representative? Don't you need staff? So yeah, as we build infrastructure, it gets us up in there. We have to get into the concept of, we're going to start winning. And that mindset for many of us doesn't exist yet. So it's a cultural issue we have to start breaking, that culture of, we just run to get 8% and be happy. We just run to make 5% and get ballot access. No, 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 no. In the next coming years, we're running to win. To actually win. And to put libertarians on our staff. To actually have them at the state and at the federal level. So yeah, it's a culture change for all of us to make that happen. Start thinking that way. We're here to win. I'm here to win. I'm not here to hang out. I'm not. I'm here to win. If any of you know what I do for a living, I don't have a job. I don't. I've had a job 13 years. I don't have a job. I run my own company. If I'm not billing someone, I'm not getting paid. There's no paycheck for me waiting at home. I don't get paid. I do this because I believe we can win, not because I'm bored. I live in New York City. A lot of exciting things to do in New York City. I do that instead. Right? I do this because I care and I want to win. So I hope we can change our culture to a culture of victory. That's what I want. Great. Go ahead.
So how about in that vein, you know, I know a lot of us, and I've seen a lot of this, you know, oh, well, you know, we did shit last year because we didn't win.
Mm-hmm.
The fact of the matter is that this year and the growth that we have had is proof that we actually won something.
Yep.
And I think that we kind of need to look at that as well, because you're not always going to win the election, but if you're making those gains, you're definitely building towards winning an election.
Absolutely.
Like, look at it as that was the victory, that was the goal, we surpassed the goal, we did this, we did that, until you hit the next goal and you win.
I totally agree.
And that's part of the 7-year plan.
That's part of the 7-year plan. Thank you, exactly. We're going to fail our way to success. 100%. It's how everyone does it. Everyone fails their way to success. We will too. Absolutely. Great. Any other question or comment? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
In any event, I would like to thank you all for coming. I would like to thank everyone who showed up to be a panelist. I'm sorry we didn't have a slightly larger audience. We didn't pack the halls, but those of you who did show up, we're most grateful for. I'd particularly like to thank Larry, where'd he go?
Right here.
So there you are, for raising money for us to help pay for the event. Your further donations, a few of you promised to give me checks thanks to Larry's efforts. I've got the envelope right here. Having said all that, we will probably do this, well, we may do this again next year. If we do it again next year, it'll be someplace else in the country, so a different group of people will show up. But we are done for the evening. You're welcome to hang on and talk. But thank you all for coming. 10 years in the White House.
Yes. 11.
The Libertarian State Leadership Alliance